Clark County Today is presented by Connell Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting connellrealestate.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Brown. We're going to start you off this Tuesday with a quick COVID-19 case update for Clark County. Now 368 confirmed cases of the disease with 22 fatalities. The latest coming on Monday with the death of a woman in her 80s. As of yesterday, there were 12 confirmed cases in area hospitals, 2 of those in intensive care. Around 0.5% of visits to Clark County emergency departments and hospital admissions involve someone with a COVID-like illness that is similar to last week and in line with expectations for this time of year. Vancouver police have released the names of 3 officers involved in a deadly shooting last week. Sergeant Jay Alley and officers Sammy Abdallah and Sean Suarez are on paid leave after shooting William Abe during an encounter at 4th Plain and Stapleton Road on April 28th. Video of the incident shows Abe approaching one of the officers brandishing a sharpened weapon before he was fatally shot. Sergeant Alley is a 23-year veteran of the Vancouver Police Department. Officer Abdallah joined the force in 2001, and Officer Suarez has been with the department for 5 years. This investigation is ongoing and being conducted by the Clark County Regional Independent Investigation Team. The ongoing shutdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic is forcing the city of Vancouver to address a projected $45 million budget shortfall for this year. At Monday's City Council meeting held remotely, staff members outlined their expectations, including that the stay-at-home orders could remain for the next 4 to 6 months, with the recession continuing into 2021. The city plans to use $15 million in existing reserves, save $17 million through the suspension of transfers and departmental reductions totaling $13 million. City Manager Eric Holmes said about 60 city employees are currently on full furlough. An additional 30% of the city's workforce will take a partial furlough of 10 days or a wage reduction effective May 1st through the end of 2020. Holmes said there may be additional furloughs as well. Most projects that are continuing are largely tied to grant funding. The discussion is expected to continue at the Council's May 18th virtual meeting, and I'm sure far beyond that. The growing unrest over the extended stay-home order from Governor Inslee has led some businesses to consider opening in defiance of the law. On Monday, several members of Battlegrounds City Council said they would prefer their local police not be put in the position of enforcing the governor's order. Police Chief Mike Ford has said his officers will respond to complaints but will take an education-first policy. Council members were somewhat divided on the city's responsibilities to enforce a law that comes from the state, though the chief noted that a majority of the laws they enforce are not local. Still, Mayor Adrian Cortez says he doesn't want the city's officers being the face of enforcement when it comes to the stay-home order. Well, the Vancouver Farmers Market opened to long lines on Saturday morning, but as rainy weather increased, crowds began to lessen. The opening comes at a difficult time for the community, with the COVID-19 pandemic still causing closures of many businesses and public gathering areas. Think of us like a grocery store, said Jordan Bolt, the executive director of the market. This coming weekend, though, it could be a different story. Mother's Day is traditionally the farmers market's busiest weekend of the season, and it'll be warm. Bolt says they have taken steps to limit the number of people who can be there at a time and spaced vendors at least 10 feet apart. They're urging people to only come for what they need and do so alone if possible. The Southwest Washington Contractors Association held their first ever webinar via Zoom last week. The organization brought in experts from Workforce Southwest Washington as well as industry representatives to discuss best practices for heading back to work. Governor Jay Inslee recently reinstated most construction as an essential service during the COVID-19 pandemic. The association hopes to bring information to its members as well as the construction community about how they can safely reopen and stay open. More webinars are expected to be held in the coming days. For more information on the story, visit clarkcountytoday.com. Well, some good news for anglers. Recreational fishing is now allowed in a lot of the state. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife reopened some recreational fishing and hunting in a phased approach following the state's efforts to limit the spread of coronavirus. The department is asking hunters and anglers to enjoy these outdoor activities only if they can do so locally while also practicing physical distancing. As a result, many wildlife areas and boat ramps reopened today for day use only recreation. And Clark County Today's Mike Schultz joined a number of area residents who made their way to Horseshoe Lake in Woodland for the reopening. Schultz found Lucas Holmgren enjoying good weather and good fishing.
So for trout fishing, having a little sliding weight like this Dave's Tango Free weight and a bead and a swivel, and then you've got your leader with your bait, and that could be a corky with some worms or some power bait, whatever it is. These stocker trout will eat them like crazy, and there's a lot of lakes around here stocked with trout right now. And with the fishing opener in Washington, there's a lot of phenomenal opportunities all around the state to fish. Just keep your distance, have a good time, and enjoy these fisheries that Washington has to offer.
And Holmgren even let us in on some tips for area anglers as to how he was able to pull some trout out of the lake today.
It's good to be fishing back in Washington State. Everything's been closed since mid-March, so I know a lot of anglers are getting out and enjoying their time outdoors. It's good to be out here, see people social distancing, but really enjoying fishing with their families. And I'm at Horseshoe Lake in Cowlitz County, Washington, but you know, it really kind of had a difficult effect on the outdoor industry as well as anglers themselves to not be able to fish in Washington. So we just hope for the best in this situation and hope everyone gets out and enjoys the beautiful resource of fishing that Washington has. Amazing weather. It's the start of May. Get out and enjoy it.
Good stuff. Paul Valencia did not go fishing or play golf today because there were no tee times available. They were all booked. But Paul did go out to Camas Meadows to talk to golfers who were among the first to tee off as Washington golf courses reopened this morning.
Happy Tuesday to you all. This beautiful scene taken Tuesday morning just after Camas Meadows Golf Course reopened. It's a celebration of golf throughout the state. Social distancing rules apply. There's all kinds of new rules to golf during this pandemic. But the golfers I've talked to so far say it's worth it just to be back out on the course.
I was watching the governor's address, and I had a feeling he was going to mention that everything, or at least the golfing and the forest, was going to open up. And as soon as words came out of his mouth, I called the golf course to get a tee time. So I was happy to get, because I always like to play the first tee time anyway, get around quicker.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
They're 4-day-a-week golfers, so it's been tough adjusting to not playing golf. I think my wife's sick of looking at me. She's okay. I think a lot of guys have been reading golf magazines and changing their swings in their garage. Today marks the beginning, I guess, of normalcy in our family, because I'm a regular golfer. It's part of my routine is come out here 4 days a week and play. It's good for my mental state. It's good for my physical state. So hopefully the governor will let us get to phase 2 and 3 real fast.
All right, thank you, Paul. And that is your quick check of the stories we're following for you at ClarkCountyToday.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to see when stories are posted and be part of the conversation. You can also send story ideas and feedback to us via email, news@ClarkCountyToday.com. For all of us, I'm Chris Brown. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.